How to work with Chinese suppliers without surprises. A practical guide for Western SMEs. Sourcing from China brings 3 big advantages. First, lower prices. Products are usually much cheaper than in other markets. Second, more choice. You can find almost any product category and thousands of suppliers. Third, easy customization. Factories are flexible and used to making products to your specifications. However, working with Chinese suppliers also comes with real challenges. These include language barriers that can lead to miscommunication, cultural differences that may affect business expectations and practices, and potential risks related to product quality and consistency. The smartest way to move forward is with caution and clarity. That means asking the right questions before you decide to take the next step. So, let's get started. Before you place that first order with a new supplier, make sure you have clear, confident answers to 7 essential questions. First, are you dealing with a real company? If you can visit the company in person, do it. If not, run the following quick check to verify their real existence. Look for a real corporate website, a LinkedIn page with employees attached, or their presence in professional directories or in any exhibition fair. Verify their address on Google Maps, call their telephone listed on the site and make sure a real person answers, and check for photos or videos of the factory where appears their logo. Also, ask for some basic but useful company information, like annual sales, organization chart, total headcount, and number of engineers. These details help you see if everything adds up. And remember the red flags such as generic emails, virtual offices, refusal of video calls, inconsistent paperwork, or pressure for sign-in order. If most checks pass, proceed. If several red flags appear, walk away. Second, do they actually make the product you want to buy? If you can't visit the factory in person, ask for a live video call. Ask them to show how your product or a similar one is made, from the raw materials all the way to the finished item. Have them pan across the shop floor. Look for machines running, maintenance boards, and quantity of workers at their stations. If your product isn't being made that day, ask to see your items in stock or the raw materials prepared to build it. And don't forget to check for order and safety, uniforms, PPE, clear floor markings, and neatly organized materials. These small signs tell you a lot about the company's standards. If you can visit in person, add to the previous questions by looking for signs of real production. For example, check if there are chips and scrap on the machines, and plenty of materials and parts at the workstations. Also, look for dust on the materials and boxes. A thick layer of dust usually means things aren't moving, and that's a risk. Third, who are their customers, past and present? Follow the customer trail, it helps you see what's real and what's not. Ask the supplier for customer names, the products they buy, and how much they usually order. Ask for proof, like purchase orders, packing lists, or delivery reports. Double-check online by looking at the customer's websites and catalogs to see if the supplier is really working with them. In another side, if the supplier has customers in Europe or North America, that's usually a good sign. But if they say they worked with a big brand and don't anymore, ask why and make sure they give you a clear answer. Fourth, can they export properly? A real exporter speaks export fluently. They should know their Incoterms, HS codes, commercial invoices, packing lists, and certificates of origin. They should follow proper labeling and packaging rules. And prove compliance for your market. If they stumble on the basics, they're not ready for you. Fifth, are their products certified to sell in your market? Compliance is your gatekeeper. If your product can't legally enter the market, nothing else matters. Ask for certificates that clearly list your exact model, the relevant directives, and applicable standards. Make sure the notified body is reputable, such as TÜV, SGS, or Intertek. And don't overlook RoHS, REACH, or any country-specific marks. Always verify the certificate, check if it's valid, whether it's expired, and if the factory address matches the actual site. Don't rely on paperwork alone, products can carry a CE or UL mark and still fail checks. Match the product design to the test reports to be sure. Sixth, do they run robust quality inspections? Samples are easy, stable quality is harder. Ask for traceability with lot IDs. Ask for IQC, IPQC, and FQC records, not templates. Check their lab equipment list and calibration certificates. And before your first order, run a factory audit. 7th. Can they deliver the volumes and on time? Don't stop at yes, we can. That's just a promise, now you need to validate the capacity behind it. So, first, ask for the numbers. Line capacity sheets, headcount and shift patterns, production plans, maintenance schedules, shipment history, all of it. If they say they're ready, they should already have it. Then, get on a live video call. And check if the reality matches the paper. Count how many stations are actually running. Time the takt, don't ask, measure it. Look at the WIP whether it is under control or piling up, etc. Now let's talk about the key questions you need to pay attention to when you're about to place the order. First. Technical requirements. Quality always starts on paper. If it isn't written down, it probably won't be made the way you expect. So put together a full spec pack, include your drawings, bill of materials, and grades, finishes, tolerances, performance requirements, compliance marks, packaging, labeling, manuals required. Also explain how you'll check it, define your AQL levels, inspection tools, test methods, and include photos showing what's acceptable and what's not. Give the factory everything they need to copy, not guess, then create one. Perfect golden sample, agreed, signed, and stamped by both sides. That's your anchor. Every future unit should match it. Set the tone from day one. And make one rule very clear: no substitutions without your written approval. Second, price. Yes, you should negotiate, but don't squeeze the price so hard that it chokes the quality. If you push too far, the factory will cut corners, cheaper materials, rushed processes, or unexpected costs later in the invoice. Always look beyond the unit price. Compare the total cost, the tooling investment, shipping and logistics, duties, exchange rates, third-party inspections, travel costs, buffer stock, and even the risk of warranty or after-sales issues. I've seen plenty of cheap quotes that ended up far more expensive once everything was added up, or when quality failed in the field. Of price matters, but context matters more. Third, the contract. If you don't spell things out clearly now, you'll end up arguing later. A handshake or an email chain isn't enough, especially when you're working across borders. Start with a well-drafted contract that includes all key terms and technical details. Cover things like tooling ownership, audit rights, responsibility for compliance, Incoterms, pricing, payment terms, how non-conformances will be handled, your quality control plan, and a solid service level agreement. And don't forget about penalties. You don't need to enforce them right away, but including them helps set expectations and encourages the supplier to take things seriously from the start. That's why you need a proper contract, one that's enforceable in China, not just in your own country. Make it clear, make it fair, but make it strong enough to protect you if things go wrong. Fourth, start small. Never begin with a massive purchase order. Instead, start with samples, then move to a first article, followed by a small pilot lot. Use that pilot run to validate quality, yield, lead time, and team communication. If everything checks out, you can confidently scale up. Now we enter the phase where the order has already been launched. Once the order is running, you must stay close on 3 fronts. First. Communication. Ask for quick replies and regular updates. Every update should come with evidence, photos, short videos, and real progress. Pay attention to attitude. A good supplier is transparent about problems and tells you early. Have one clear point of contact, plus a backup, and confirm actions and deadlines after every call. Second. Quality. Don't wait until production is over to find out something went wrong. Inspections need to happen during production, especially at critical steps, not just at the end, and always ask to see the real factory records, IQC, IPQC, and FQC. These documents tell you what's really happening on the factory floor. I've seen shipments that looked fine on arrival but failed just 2 months later because the supplier used cheaper components no one caught. Or metal parts showing up rusty because the plating process was never properly tested. These are avoidable problems if you're paying attention. Watch for red flags, a supplier who only does final inspections, missing or fake QC records, or relying on labs that aren't properly accredited. When it comes to quality, trust but verify. Third. Timelines and logistics. Ask your supplier for a Gantt chart with clear milestones so you know what's happening and when. Book freight early, especially around holidays like Chinese New Year or Golden Week. Shipping delays and port congestion are common. And don't overlook the customs paperwork, certificates, packaging details, and labeling all need to be correct. A small mistake can hold your goods at the border or send them back entirely. Other comments to take into consideration. First, reliability beats a bargain. When choosing a supplier, always value reliability over the cheapest deal. That small price difference up front can save you thousands later. A reliable partner means fewer returns, fewer angry customers, and far less stress for your team. Second, always keep a real plan B. A backup is not just a name on a list. A real plan B means you've tested a second supplier, approved their samples, and even placed small orders to keep the relationship alive, and for critical parts, consider dual sourcing, so one hiccup doesn't stop your production line. Third, treat payments like a high-stakes launch. Before you send money, verify the bank details through 2 channels: what's written in the contract, and what you confirm with a trusted contact. Do a quick video call and read the details together: the beneficiary, the bank, and the branch. If possible, send a small test transfer first. And never accept banking changes by email alone. Ask for a stamped letter and confirm by phone. I know of a company that lost more than $50,000 to a fake account. By the time they noticed, it was too late. Fourth, communicate fast, but always leave a trail. WeChat is perfect for speed and urgent issues, but lock down the important points by email. Summarize what was agreed, who owns it, and the deadline. Always ask for a written confirmation. And make sure you have one steady point of contact plus a backup for holidays. And finally, fifth, build the relationship, what in China is called guanxi, from day one. Personal relationship matters here. If you can't visit the factory in person, set up regular and longer video calls to build trust and align expectations. That's all for now. Thank you for watching our video. If you have any questions, feel free to reach us at contact@factoryunique.